call. I'm gonna get rid of these envelopes. Sticking, they don't stop sticking.
Commissioner Calucci is absent. Commissioner Ellis?
Present.
Commissioner Lozey?
Present.
Commissioner Fudian?
Present.
Commissioner
Present.
Bernard?
Minutes of previous meeting.
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Calucci is absent. Commissioner Ellis?
Yes.
Commissioner Lozey?
Yes.
Commissioner Fudian?
Yes.
And Commissioner Bernard?
Yes. Project update. Bob Tina?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The plant flows for the month of March averaged 24 MGD. The BOD TSS removals were good, all within permit. We had 3.14 inches of rain. The relic is just about finished cleaning out their tank, the last remaining tank. We're having a few little issues, but we'll work through those. And then they'll decommission their entire wastewater plant that they have. The 18-year audit's underway. We're working through that. I told you the past couple meetings that the EPA and DEP are very concerned about the age of the plant, the structure, the metal, the concrete. We've had conversations with them, and in order to satisfy them, they're going to issue us an order, compliance order, that we're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. But it basically follows what we're doing for the audit anyway. So it's most of it's duplication. So we expect to get that from the EPA or DEP within the next, I'm guessing, a few weeks, a month. It's on its way, but what else do I have? Also started working on the contract rebid, and both the contract rebid and the administrative order we're going to get, and the 18-year exit audit. CDM's been helping us out with that, and that's what I have.
Okay, any questions for Bob? Go ahead, Dave.
At the last meeting, we spoke about the need to, in the incinerator area where we're having leaks, to take measures to clean up the dusty powder or the ash that's coming out that is not healthy for people. It has chromium and other things in it. How's that cleanup going?
It's going okay. Veolia has been making great efforts towards it, but they still got a little way to go.
Okay. And I think the bigger issue is that it's a pressure vessel. There's a lot of patches on that. And we're supposed to receive that at the end of the contract in new condition. And a pressure vessel that's stressed and has that many repairs on, can fail explosively, like a grenade. So it almost sounds like under the contract that'll be one of the things that we have to look at as to where contract is written that we get everything back the same way we gave it to them. That was in good condition, much newer. And so would like to get that in new condition.
Yeah, that's going to be a primary target of the 18-year audit, and it's also going to be in the administrative order from the state. So I assume we're going to have an independent inspection that we will pay for.
Great. And then I hear that we had a large area of the RAS pipes that we were told we had to replace.
That is correct.
So the state environmental protection told us that, hey, the system, we had about, 3 breaks in it?
There's some leaks in it, yes. It was TV'd, and 2 years ago, And the state, Joe Nerdin was right in the trailer watching the video with me. And, yeah, there are some leaks in it, and we know we need to do it, and we're going to do it.
Right.
And we're getting pricing, and it's gonna be taken care of.
And a lot of our plant is under the ground. It's piping under the ground. It's not what you see at the surface. So if we're having trouble with that portion of the system, it doesn't bear well for the rest of the system. So it's very important that that contract, when we leave it, we don't have that expense. We don't want to see a $45 million bill on the other side that we didn't collect under the contract because we didn't get the work done of doing good inspections.
Absolutely. Yeah, those pipes are 40 years old. It's a long time to be in the ground.
Okay.
Okay, Rick Daw, update with the water treatment.
Mr. Chairman, the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission is in compliance with all federal and state drinking water regulations. The water supply capacity as of yesterday was 84%. The average for this time of year is 85%. 8 of the 10 contract positions at the water treatment plant are currently filled. Bob Daw retired from this position as project manager on March 31st. Jeff Mercer, who was the lead operator, was promoted to the project manager. Jeff has been at the plant for over 20 years as the lead operator. He's very knowledgeable in plant operations. And there's also an open operator position that's been vacant since February 16. Veolia Water is actively trying to fill those positions. They actually made an offer for the lead operator. They're waiting to hear back, see if he will accept the job. And he's a very qualified person, so we're hoping that he will come in. And the 3 vacated positions, 3 operators, Mark Elaine, Brian Farmer, and Bob Daw have agreed to work part-time as necessary to fill shifts until the plant is fully staffed. That's my report.
Any questions for Bob? Rick? Okay, here are no questions. CSO update. Who's taking that, Danny?
I will. Sure, the project's going well. As you know, the design plans have to be done to the federal and state government by July of this year. They're conducting field investigations which involve the sewer and drain inspections, some private inflow investigations, field survey and mapping, geotechnical borings, CCTV cleaning inspections, and some IDDE investigations, illicit detection, elimination of connections from the sanitary into the storm drain. There's engineering analysis with hydraulic evaluations going on as well, utility coordination, water main replacements, and working on the pump station. So things are progressing fairly well. We got a notice from March 15th from the state that as part of the first phase of the CSO project, which is $100 million for the first 5 projects, which is the first basically 5 or 6 years. We've been approved for $25 million for the first phase, which is obviously a 2% loan. It's not free money. It's a loan that'll be provide debt service over either 20 or 30 years on this first phase. So we'll need a vote as we approve the budgets in June relative to the approval of this capital improvement item, which is again for $25 million, with the understanding that we're borrowing 100 over the next so many years. That's what we signed up for.
Okay. Any questions for Dan?
It's good news.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, it's not free money, we're paying it back.
Yeah.
So it is good news, but
Yeah.
Well, it's good news. I can't get a 2.5% loan to buy a house. So we're getting something much more sizable at a decent rate because of the benefit to the public. They put these funds out. I had a question. As part of the surveying, a lot of the pipes we have are in tough shape, and I noticed that we had a sinkhole form down on Bennett Street, and somebody drove their car through that, and it was about 18 inches that the pavement had sunk down, and it was a pricey car too. It was over $100,000, a BMW, and damaged their vehicle. So these are things that we need to get fast response on. And I'm out in the water a lot and out in the streets a lot, and if I call something in, I have to be able to reach people, because on the other break we had on Bennett Street, I saw when I was out there a dip in what looked like it lined up to a sewer main, and we had that large water pipe break that runs down there, and it filled that area with a few feet of water. So if you can call me back when I call you, I'd appreciate it.
Who's that, me?
Anybody, any of the
Okay,
staff.
if he calls, you call him back. Relative to that, we have a lot of water breaks in the winter, so Harold Samuelson, superintendent of water, we had a break at that location you're talking about, so we fixed the break, the water service, as we do hundreds of breaks during the winter, and you put coal patch in the trench, you tamp it, do the best they can. They do, again, this is what our guys do, and they do a great job of it, and they tamp it and put coal patch in. Some of the trenches settle, unfortunately. I don't know exactly which trench you're talking about, but they tamp it, but it had nothing to do with the CSO project. But we do have a claim process, like you said, Anthony developed one, probably, him and Bob Fennell, probably 2 or 3 years ago. We probably had probably 500 claims that we go through the process, right? So someone, if they do whatever the damage is, they submit a claim. It goes to Anthony, or Bob, or myself, and then we get a report from the superintendent who evaluates condition of the roadway, what happened, when he did the job, and so forth. If it's valid, he writes a recommendation either way, saying approved, recommended for claim reimbursement, or denied claim reimbursement. So we have a process. I don't know,
Yeah.
you're involved in this one?
I
don't think the staff is involved.
I understand the process.
Okay.
My concern goes back to the CSO discussion we were having,
Okay,
that the pipes in that area are in tough shape,
okay,
because all the other places where we had done work on that area had sunk. It looks like maybe the main has a fracture or something in there, and it's undermining all around that area, and there was no coal patch on that. It was just dirt that had settled 18 inches, so there wasn't a coal patch put on it.
okay.
So if we do something like that, and that's our work, make sure we have horses out there, at least.
All right, Bob, can you handle that? That's great. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks for your help.
Sure.
Okay, under new business, or under business, Article 97.
Yeah, I'll just give you a brief overview. Presently, the plans are to put a pump station on the McManus Field at Lynn Tech. Whenever you take land as park property, you have to give back an equal quantity of that land, acreage of that land. So if we hypothetically took 1,000 square feet, we gotta give them back 1,000 square feet somewhere. So Bob's been working with the Lynn Park Commission and EEA from the state to try to get a few locations where we can replace the land that we're gonna take as part of the pump station with different parcels throughout the city. And I guess that's all I have. Bob, why don't you take over from there?
Okay, like Ian said, the land that we're looking at is protected by Article 97 of the state constitution, and you can either take private or publicly owned that is currently not protected for open space or conservation land, and once the city identifies and purchases it or donates it, is then deeded as protected land. The amount of land that Danny was talking about for the pump station is approximately 15,000 square feet. Over the past few months, we have identified over 20 Lynn Water and Sewer privately owned parcels and city parcels of land to meet the criteria for the swap. These sites were then boiled down and then categorized by the size and value that they offer as protected land. There was an initial meeting with the chairman of the Park Commission to brief him on the project, the need to acquire the portion of McManus Field, and discuss the value of which these 20 sites offered to the Park Commission in exchange for the portion of the field. We then collectively met with the DPW and the Parks and Recreation that schedule activities on this field. When they looked at the location of the pump station, Parks and Recreation felt that they were losing a portion of the field, and the priority to replace the field. One of the parcels identified was privately owned, and we could redesign and accommodate a soccer field. We then contacted and met with the owner's lawyer to explain our needs, to see if his client would consider transferring the land to the city. This meeting then facilitated into 2 more meetings at City Hall with City Solicitor's Office, DPW officials, Park Commissioner, and representatives from Stantec and Tetra Tech. After the first meeting, we met and we walked this privately owned site in the area of McManus Field with the regional coordinator from the Essex Office of Environmental Affairs, EOEA. This is the state agency that needs to approve the transfer of the land. Currently, this parcel is one of interest to all parties involved, but seems after our second meeting at City Hall that this will probably take longer than expected to transfer ownership, and has forced us to reconvene and look for alternate parcels. Meanwhile, Samtex Landscape Architects drew a schematic that shows the pump station on the site with a reconfigured soccer field, which will result in losing no field space. In recognizing this, the parks reassessed the priority of creating another field. Recently, Lynn Water and Sewer, DPW, and the Parks Commission met to once again review all parcels, and this time had them select 3 options that would be of value for the land transfer. The Park Commission met last week, and the city solicitor briefed the members about Article 97 process and the parcels that have been discussed. This was done to prepare the commissioners before the official unanimous vote that needs to be taken once a parcel of land is identified and approved by EOEA. There was supposed to be a meeting scheduled today, but it was rescheduled for this Wednesday. The regional coordinator from EOEA, who was out previously, will come again to do a site visit and walk all 3 parcels that have been selected by the Park Department. Hopefully EOEA will approve one or more of these parcels. Should they not, we will then need to go back and choose alternative sites to satisfy the agency criteria, Article 97. Once a parcel has been approved by all parties involved, the next step is for the Park Commission to have a unanimous vote to transfer the land to McCann's Field to the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission. After that is done, the City and Council will need to have a unanimous vote to approve the Commission's decision, and then we'll send a home rule petition to the state delegation. A 2/3 vote by the legislature is required for the Article 97 disposition. So that's where we are. Questions? So we've been working right along, trying to get done, a couple pitfalls along the way, but we're still kind of on time.
So there's still a few hurdles. We gotta allocate the 15,000 square feet somewhere else and improve it in accordance with both EOA and the Park Commission. But we're working on it.
Does this look like it's gonna delay the project at all, or?
No.
No? Okay.
Hopefully that the first site that we came, it was privately owned and it was gonna be taking longer. The other sites were owned by the City of Lynn, so City Solicitor's Office is involved, and so.
But as I mentioned earlier, we got approved for 25 million, so that's the first phase. The pump station is a later phase, so we have, that's, of the 5 phases, that's phase 3. So the first phase is going on going ahead no matter what. South Street is getting dug up, likely probably 3 times in the next, probably commencing a year. But National Grid will probably come through first and replace the water main, and then we'll likely replace the sanitary sewer, and then we'll put a big 36 or 48-inch pipe on South Street. So if there's any businesses or residents, there's gonna be 3 excavations on South Street about a year from now. That's going ahead. This is the pump station, which is gonna be the 3rd phase as we progress through the program. But the first phase is happening probably a year from now.
Any questions for Danny on that? Go ahead, Dan.
Just wanted to say, when I was on the city council, we had to do that 97 Act because of Manning Bowl and the reconfiguration of it. And, we worked through it, as there was a playground, other things then, and mixed uses, and they had to rearrange things, but it's doable. So I think that we'll be able to do that and get amenities. Like I went to Tech, and I can remember doing football out there, you didn't know where you were. And so hopefully when we get done, we'll leave them with a field that's actually usable like other people have in the community, and something to be proud of. And that will be our contribution to them, and I think the whole community will enjoy having that benefit.
Any other questions for Danny? Any new business? Anything under new business? Go ahead, Dave.
We have a group working out of the Girls Club, and they're doing water quality, environmental issues, and they were interested in doing some basin stenciling like they're doing in other areas, don't dump the oil down here and things like that. They've done some like creative artwork around some of the basins, but they'd like to connect with us, and it's part of actually our CSO requirements that we do education in the community and work with groups like that and in the schools. So they asked at one of the events that they were having that I went to, can they come before the board and explain what they're doing? And then we could link with them and meet that requirement. And maybe, I talked to Bob about it, and he seemed to feel that he'd be able to help out with that.
Yeah, I'm agreeable to that.
Yeah.
To meet with them.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they wanted to come up and, so the community could be educated on the issue that they're working with, trying to have a clean beach and a clean environment in our community. So could we sit down and have them
Yeah.
for the next meeting?
Why don't you look into that, Bob, and
Yeah.
try to
Or-
schedule
or-
it
Or a meeting in the future?
in the future? Now, are we talking about painting stencils on the streets in front of the,
Yeah, you've probably seen them, they go around, they put the stencils, like even if you go to like BJ's in Danvers, they have one, you know, about the rivers and the dumping.
yeah,
That's-
the minute
Specified
the,
ones.
the minute the sweet,
No, it's on the curb,
Just Harvest Street.
it's like on the curb.
when they sweep the streets, it seems to me like they'd take it off.
It's not in the street, it's on the sidewalk.
Okay.
So that's-
So what they're doing is,
That's done across Massachusetts.
It's on the top, the very top of the granite curb.
Yes.
oh, on top of the granite curb,
Yeah.
okay.
They stencil
Yeah.
right into the granite curb.
All right, so it's
Usually
not
has-
on the street then?
No.
No.
It usually has like a fish symbol that gets your attention, and then a phrase on
They'll
there.
probably show examples of,
Yeah, maybe we can help them out with the stencil,
yeah.
stencils.
Okay, you're gonna take care of that, Bob? Okay,
He has already cost.
all right. Anything else under new business? What's the wish of the board?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion
Second
made,
motion.
motion made and seconded, all those in favor, aye. Motion carried.